You are listening to the ReRACEables Podcast.
Give you a nice little detour.
Good evening and welcome back to the ReRACEables Podcast for Season 37, Episode 8. I am your host, Tom, and I am excited to be here joined tonight by Nicole. What's up, Nicole?
Hello.
And Josh, welcome back. What's happening?
How's it going?
So we just watched The Amazing Race, Season 37, Episode 8 from Sofia, Bulgaria. And I'd like to start with the winners of this leg. Team number 1, Mark and Brett. Did they run a flawless leg?
It was, in fact, flawless. There were no errors. I think the best moment for them was picking up from the clue that there would be choreography, knowing that Mark should be the one to do it. They knew it right away. Watching him do what he does best, it was great.
Josh, flawless?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. From going through the challenges all the way to the acrylic cipher, right? Knowing that it was the back of there, just while all of the other teams struggled, it seemed seamless for them. They really came through at a time when it's probably going to propel them through a good finish through the end.
I think they've cemented themselves with this leg as the most dangerous team. They don't have a weakness. When they're in Lake Ariana, they're rah-rah and jumping up and down with the fully clothed Bulgarian.
Yeah, even though that ring of Orthodox Christians probably do not approve of their marriage at all, they embraced it.
And I just, from task to task to task, to getting around the city of Sofia, to making the right judgment call at the roadblock, I think Mark and Brett are a clear, in my mind, number one team, the team to beat in the Amazing Race 37.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they are the team to beat.
What propelled the flawless leg for Mark and Brett was them deciding, let's not go for the express pass. Let's not waste our time. Let's use this as an opportunity to close the gap between Alyssa and Josiah and go for first place. And that's exactly what happened. But my question is about the express pass. Here we have it at the start of a leg. By putting it in the beginning, one team that had the advantage got to go for it, and it seemed inevitable. Is that a flaw? Am I reading that right? Like, what was your take on just where they put the express pass?
If there wasn't such a gap between the first place departure and all the other departures, it would have been more exciting.
Of course.
But a 40-minute gap is a significant gap. And I think that's the reason why no one else went for it. You know, it would have been more exciting if there was less of a gap and more people went for it. But I think it would have been better if they put this more in the middle of a leg where people don't know where each other are.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I have an answer. I think that, like, I'm playing it out in my head and I'm going to talk it out loud. If you put it at the end of the leg, it definitely would mean that the people on the bottom are going to try to get there to get the express pass and then use the express pass to jump ahead, which does seem like exciting TV, right? It's that winner break all. It's that, like, let's try it. Let's let that shot in the dark.
Yes.
But you also risk the chance of someone not even using it at all, or I don't know. I if I have to go back to it, I'm probably not a huge fan of the express pass in general. And that's where it's kind of a dud for me.
What if the Cyrillic cipher was the competition for the express pass? In other words, each team was kind of timed and how long it took them to complete that route info task at the library. And whoever was the fastest team to do it wins the express
Oh.
pass. So everybody's going for it. You have the incentive to go for it, not just say, well, we're 2 hours behind, whatever.
Right.
And everybody gets a chance at it. And then at the mat, Phil would say, you're team number 3, but I have a surprise for you. You were the fastest ones to complete the Cyrillic cipher. Here's your express pass.
Producers, are you listening?
Hello?
Great idea. Great
They
idea.
should be paying you for these ideas.
Are you loving that?
That was a good
Are you loving
I
that?
have to admit,
Come on.
that was
Give it to me. Why do you love it?
Your better ideas. No, that sounds like exciting television.
Yeah, the least exciting part of it is the fact that the first team just went for it, right? Even last time when we had Jonathan and Anna, right? Didn't they were just there and they said, well, we're ahead. We might as well just try it now. So it makes total sense. It makes sense to get rid of that factor of it and make it a competition between everybody. Sounds fair, sounds exciting, good TV, and will propel you to the next episodes.
Could we get a little better than the firewalking? Come on. I love the idea of the firewalking. I love that Josiah was petrified, right? I love the candles and the whole mood that was set there, but then it was the length of a dining room table. 7.5, 8 steps. Like, give me 25 steps.
Like, I've burnt my feet more walking from my towel to the ocean at a beach.
Than on hot coals.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You don't want to do 10 hackies for another express pass?
The one thing I did think of, though, was like, if they did dilly-dally for whatever reason, and they actually did burn their feet, that could be very detrimental on the race.
Disaster.
Like, that would be really bad.
Right. Even when Alyssa said it, like, I'll burn my feet. I said to myself,
Like,
no, you wouldn't.
I don't want to burn my feet. But like, I don't think the race would put them in that situation. So I never doubted that they'd be capable of doing this, no problem.
Yep.
And I get that's why it's only 7 or 8 steps, but give me more, give me more, give me
You've been
more.
very into Britney this week.
Shout out Brittany. Josh, you're thinking. What are you thinking about? More express pass? What do you got?
No, I don't know. I don't know how much I like this express pass at all. Because you need something high stakes for good TV, but it's not high stakes. It's a low stakes thing. So it's kind of just like, why is it even there?
Nothing will ever top the hair shaving and the tattoos.
Done. Yeah. And those were not express passes though. Those were fast forwards.
Oh, I always forget that.
That's where my big issue becomes, right? Your fast forward is a big challenge that makes you decide, am I gonna freaking do this? And if you do it, then you get an automatic you pass go, collect $200.
Yeah.
This just means you skip a challenge. So how do you earn a skip the challenge?
You got to risk more than 40 minutes of time.
Yeah, but then Tom, then everyone having the equal opportunity isn't risking anything. Right? Remember we had non-elimination legs? Long time ago we had you have to beg for money and da-da-da-da-da. And then the most recent version of it was just that you had to complete an additional challenge. So an additional challenge maybe is a bit more exciting. I don't know.
The speed bump?
Is that what it was? When you came in last on a non-elimination leg, you had to complete a speed bump.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's you have to do a speed bump to get an express pass. I don't know. They tried it earlier in the season where it was like instead of doing 5, you have to do 10 hackies. I didn't really think that was much either.
Yeah, it's not.
Now we're saying that this isn't much. Is it a testament to the structure of this just not working, or is it a testament to just this time this race was run, there was a 40-minute difference between first and second, and that's where it became kind of
just seemed like a added advantage for finishing first place in the previous leg. Though we liked the strategy and Mark and Brett played it the right way, especially being the second place team, and it paid off, but they also ran a flawless leg. So it really paid off. They made 15 grand off of that. Proved again they could be a team number one. They figured everything out.
But they don't have an express pass.
Which, oh, by the way, is only good through leg 10.
Wow.
What leg are we on?
8. You got to use it at the final 5 or the final 4. That's it.
Okay.
But that's really powerful too.
They were sitting in the library even talking about using it, which feels radical, but I guess when you have that power, it is kind of exciting. I don't know. What do you think, Tom? Should we keep the express pass or get rid of it?
What I think doesn't make sense is the kinds of tasks they have to do to get it. Again, maybe survivor brain taking over. It's like, where is the risk of like losing your vote in the Amazing Race? Like, what's the equivalent? Is it your time? If they don't complete it on the first try, they get a 10-minute yield thrown on them. Like, they get a penalty. Like, that's the risk they take.
I have a bad idea. I'm telling you, this is a bad idea.
Hit us. What do you got?
What if it was like a disadvantage? It was like you have to wear giant gloves throughout this whole leg, and if you can wear the giant gloves and get through the leg, the first team to wear the giant gloves and get through the leg gets the advantage, gets the express pass. Or like has to carry 25 pounds in addition to their bags on their backs. So that maybe 3 teams are playing with these giant gloves or with an eye patch or like with one arm this whole race or this whole leg, hoping to be that team. And the opposite is then like, okay, ditch the gloves. We're not doing that. We're just going to try to come in first place. And if teams try it, then you have multiple people competing with a lot of risk and a decent reward, but not something that's that crazy.
But then is it anyone who completes it gets an express pass? Or is it the first team to land on the mat with the clown shoes gets the express pass?
I think either. Maybe a couple express passes are more fun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it also gives every team the ability to get it. But you know what? Those clown shoes might hinder Erika and Melinda, and they're going to come in last place because of it. And it's like, wow, should not have gone for it. High risk.
I feel like you're describing like the scenic route.
Sure, yeah.
Game is that cranium. There's the express lane, and then there's the like scenic lane around the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there was 2 different versions of the leg of the race, that if you take the scenic route, going with the drivers, come on.
I can't believe there hasn't been a scenic route yet.
Come on, Amazing Race. I mean,
Wow,
are you
this is a
listening?
good episode to listen to.
We are just firing here. If you complete the scenic route version of the leg, like not taking a taxi or something in the city, like something to slow you down. But if you do it and you don't come in last, then you earn the advantage. But the risk you're taking is you're not going to come in first and you could be out.
Sure.
That seems like a really fun risk. Look at the workshop here that's happening.
Next season, clown shoes.
Scenic route, clown shoes, shout out, clown shoes.
Such a bad idea, but
So midway through the episode, we have the Cyrillic cipher. We mentioned it before. Brett and Mark get there. Loved watching them figure it out. Alyssa and Josiah, we got to see them kind of get lost in an escape room that they thought they were in the Bulgarian library. Why is there a ladder?
Or like looking at every book trying to find a dictionary to translate it.
A lot of distractors before the right answer, which was to just flip the damn thing over. Thoughts on the strategy you saw at the Cyrillic Cipher Root Info Challenge?
Well, we start off with seeing an alliance where, okay, there's still a team behind us, so let's work together. And like that logic seemed like it made sense. Yes, okay, let's work together because it's
You're talking about Han and Holden,
and
Melinda,
Melinda and Erika.
Right. They get there in fourth and fifth.
They know that gamers are still behind.
Carson and Jack. Yeah.
So it made sense for them to work together because it's just don't come in last. But what's interesting is that they immediately flip.
Melinda and Erika they did not decipher it. TZMME, and the guy is just sitting there.
Hilarious.
But in that moment,
But amazing that they were oblivious to the other two teams flipping it over.
yeah.
Oblivious.
What I caught is that Han and Holden either saw or heard Carson and Jack
Yes.
flip it over. And then Han and Holden said, wait a second, you guys got it. And I guess they could have just turned back around and figured it out themselves, right? I don't really know why they exposed themselves to saying, okay, guys, we're going to start an alliance with you now and get rid of them. Because then when Melinda and Erika came back, Han and Holden were then withholding information.
Lying to them.
Erika.
Not just
Yeah.
withholding, lying,
Yeah.
saying we have nothing when they had it all.
But
Yeah.
don't forget, Carson and Jack shut it down at first. They're like, oh, you guys are helping them. And we saw some real friction in that moment.
Yeah.
But,
It was so awkward.
right. Because this is not a vicious game. This is the wholesome, amazing race here.
Yeah.
Not new era.
I mean, it's nut crunch time. So, like, yeah, you're going to see that come
Nut
out.
crunch time.
Yeah. You don't watch sports. That's why you don't know what that means. Anyway, but I think what we saw was Han and Holden's strategy. Don't come in last. And whoever is with us and we know somebody's behind us, screw it. Work with them. And that could change on a dime. And it did. They were working with Melinda and Erika. They go away. The other guys figured it out. Let's work with them.
But then flipping again
Yep.
and wanting to tell Han and Holden,
No,
Melinda and Erika how to do it. And then
Outrageous.
thus screwing the gamers again.
Exactly.
And then they're furious at them. Like, why are you telling them?
Such great gameplay to just such stupid gameplay like this.
It's like that's how you get every team to hate you.
Well, then Han and Holden got the challenge first, right? So, yeah, you have Melinda and Erika who are pissed at them for working with the other people. You have Carson and Jack who are pissed that now the team is now fighting, like now they're fighting for each other, Melinda and Erika and Carson and Jack. And then you have Han and Holden who's in the front. And so nobody's happy. And you burned bridges and you really screwed yourself. Stupid, stupid, stupid gameplay. But I don't know if Han and Holden would have ever gotten it without trying to work with either of them. Carson and Jack probably would have pulled ahead, and then it would have been Han and Holden, Melinda and Erika kind of fighting it out at the bottom. So I don't know. Is it good gameplay because they earned themselves 2 positions ahead? Or is it bad gameplay because now everyone hates them? But this isn't a game of love and hate. It's a game of coming to the mat soonest.
It worked. The name of the game at this point in this leg was don't come in last. Name of this,
Melinda and Erika are gone.
right.
Now
And
you only have one half enemy.
At this point, there's only 6 teams left. You want to be one of the 5 remaining? If the answer is yes, then do what you got to do. But don't sit there and then, oh no, we got to wait for them.
No.
Stupid. And like I think at the mat, they were reflecting on the mistakes they made. Well, we already knew they were not like the young brother and sister from last season, Maya and Rohan. But,
Shout out Maya and Rohan.
yeah, who didn't even get out of the first half. Yeah, anyway. But
I miss them.
no, you miss the other ones, Sheridan and
Yeah, them too.
They don't get a shout out.
no.
What do you think of Jonathan and Anna going back to tell Josiah and Alyssa?
It's a tough one. Because I feel like they're still trying to repair something.
Yeah.
It's a different leg and race that they're running in the top three than the bottom three. This was, let's buy ourselves a favor versus we're desperate, get out of jail free.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the move for Jonathan and Anna.
I also liked it. It couldn't hurt them because there's no way that they weren't near the bottom. They weren't at risk at all. It was like, all right, why not earn some brownie points here with another team?
I don't know. That's the chance that Alyssa and Josiah could have fallen into the bottom half. And as we know, like you fall in the bottom half and then you're gone. They basically, in my mind, gave Alyssa and Josiah a spot in the final three. I don't know. They're a strong team.
Right, and Alyssa was panicky.
Yeah, this could have been the challenge that destroyed them. Or gotten rid of
Yes.
Yeah, then get rid of that fast pass because that's the only thing they have right now.
And that would have been another layer of strategy.
Huge. Would have been next level gameplay.
Yeah.
Would have just said goodbye, go to the back of the pack. We don't need you. And probably would have propelled Jonathan and Anna guaranteed final three also.
And I wonder if Jonathan and Anna could have been like, if you give us the express pass, we'll tell you how to get through. Can you give somebody the express pass? Can that change hands? Maybe that's another feature of the express pass.
That would be sick because I think every team would butter up to you, right? Because if your friends are now in the back and it's the 10th round, you're going to say, here, I'll give it to you guys.
Right.
What are you
It's
gonna
the
do?
equivalent of playing an idol for someone else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere, folks. Right? Because what if, like, Alyssa and Josiah, right before they got to the mat, said, we want to play the express pass for Melinda and Erika. Again, ideas here. We got four woks full of ideas cooking up on this fine episode of the ReRACEables Podcast. Are you loving this, Nikki?
I love a walk.
Yeah. Shout out, walk and roll.
Shout out, walk and roll.
I've never seen Josh get up so fast on the couch.
Yeah. Let's keep the strategy train rolling because at some point Carson and Jack made a decision after they left the Cyrillic cipher to just ditch them. At what point do you no longer help other teams and you just have to run your best race? Are we there yet?
I think starting next leg, you're not helping anyone because this is getting down to the wire here. If it could mean a top contender getting put further behind you, that's what you need.
Josh, where are we at in the race?
I'm a competitor. If I know that there are 3 teams ahead of me that are stronger and I don't know how to solve this challenge, you bet your bottom all the way to the final round, I'm going to the person next to me and saying, hey, can you help me out? Is there any way? I just don't understand. I'm playing the game through the end. So I don't know. There's no ending it for me. The opposite, though, I'm also playing the game if I'm ahead. If I'm one of the 3 contenders and I know that there's some weak teams behind me, I'm gonna have to play a different game to not give those clues. And I probably would try to not give clues from the beginning. I probably would run my own race no matter what, and have to walk that fine line.
I think where we're at in the race is that there's a clear top 3, and then there was a bottom 3 this leg, but now a bottom 2. I think that Brett and Mark, Alyssa and Josiah, and Jonathan and Anna, those are your top 3 teams.
Not Carson and Jack?
No.
Are you kidding?
No, but
They dominated the entire race. They were in the top 2 or 3 the entire race.
I know, but we're in self-drive time.
Oh, no. Alyssa and Josiah are not that strong. Jonathan and Anna, I think, are still going to combust. I don't think you can guaranteely say that those are the top 3 teams.
Also, look at their judgment with the clue, where Brett and Mark immediately could infer it's a choreography number.
Immediately.
They read that clue and they interpret it as, oh, it's probably history? Where did they get that from? And
Yeah,
then they
but
picked the wrong guy, not the guy that knows the Born This Way choreography.
no, I would argue if you're going to say that same thing, then you can say that Alyssa and Josiah are not a strong team because they couldn't flip the clue over. And Carson and Jack did. Done. Right? Like there's I'm not saying that Carson and Jack are in the top 3. What I'm saying is that it's not clear that they are not in the top 3.
I just think that the last 2 episodes, the self-driving has exposed them. Their comebacks have been, the last episode, obviously a miracle. They're still a strong team and they still can make moves and be dangerous, but I think at this point, the top 3 have really they're the top 3 for a reason. We all agree Han and Holden on their way out.
They're the next on the chopping block.
It would be surprising to see them move past this leg.
Almost as surprising as the fact that Holden was in military school.
Yeah, why would go share with the audience why that was so surprising?
It's too hurtful. I won't.
He looks so young and he's got his like pudgy skin and he just doesn't look like he was in physical training doing 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups in like 5 minutes, right?
Not at all.
Yeah, that's what it is. Thoughts on Bulgaria? We were in the countryside. We were on foot in the city, the capital city of Sofia, Bulgaria. Culture in the city. We got culture in the country. We even saw the most ridiculous run-in in the history of The Amazing Race.
Unbelievable. I loved it.
Fantastic.
I loved it.
Yeah.
When the
Wood chop
wood
man.
chop lugging detour task from the previous episode got expert randomly is on the bus with Carson and Jack. And they're asking him like, what's the Kleck shop? And he gets down, he crouches, he's helping them.
Yep.
Like, what are the chances?
This is Kleck.
It was like a perfect ending to a new country, and I loved it. I loved Bulgaria. I would love to go there. I would love to, again, as I've said every episode, I'd love to just run the leg that they ran and see the sights and knock on the little Kleck shop door where the awesome graffiti AR-37 was.
Incredible. Yeah.
Thoughts on Bulgaria?
I love the Kleck shop. I thought it was so entertaining to see each team figure out that was what it was. And I wish that we had Kleck shops in New York City as opposed to the street cart, convenience store, bodega nonsense that just takes up space.
Loved it. What a great episode. You're right. And I mean, all the way from the beginning when we were going into the religious discussions about Bulgaria, into the Kleck shop, into seeing how small of a city it is, being on foot, seeing the buildings, the architecture, all the way through the end, and Bulgarian dance. This was definitely one place that I feel like they got it. It felt right.
We got the culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finding that the wood collection physical task guy on the bus, a closeness and an intimacy of like Bulgaria, that something like that could happen.
No.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that's like a standout moment for Carson and Jack too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I also just love how they asked him, like, hey, are you wood chop man?
He's like, yeah. And he just starts. It's unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
And it's the kind of thing that it couldn't be scripted or planned. Like, that clearly just happened. The magic of Amazing Race.
Last thing, Melinda and Erika.
Yeah, they got to the mat and Phil said, hey guys, like, what's the number one rule on this race? And they said out loud, you must read the clue. And they didn't even realize that they didn't read the clue, which in my mind, makes this perfectly placed, right? This is the cutoff moment of where you get rid of the last of the teams that just aren't good enough. And it did. It was that right before halftime, let's do it on second hike. That's
Yep.
it. And they jumped off sides. And it showed, yeah, these other teams are better, stronger, faster.
And you know what? It didn't even matter in the end because they came in last.
Yeah, yeah. But I think strategic gameplay by the producers, really, really well executed. And even if they didn't come in last, that could have been the deciding factor,
Sure
which
could have.
might have been more exciting. But I still think, nonetheless, really, really great point to just drop it in there right now.
Yeah, I was about to say the countless sound bites from Erika
Yes.
that were just foreshadowing their demise. And I turned and said to Tom, they must be watching this right now and kicking themselves.
Ugh. I think you hit it right on the head. Like, this is clearly the line of demarcation from the people who are there for an amazing experience, improve a relationship. I feel like Melinda and Erika are the poster child for that. And I thought they well exceeded my expectations. Final, you guys, your thoughts on Melinda and Erika?
They definitely performed better than I anticipated, especially Erika.
Yeah, our team averages, we had them at third to last with a 9.6. The low expectations, and they really got way further than we thought.
Yeah, so to cross them off, they finished in sixth place. My last big number comes off the board. I had them 12th. I was not buying into Melinda's age. I thought that was going to be a real crutch for them, but their communication was good enough. Their relationship and their dynamic was good enough to get them all the way to sixth place. They weren't a target ever like a Scott and Lori was. They were clearly stronger than some of the other teams like Mark and Larry and Jackie and Lauren and them and Ernest and Bridget. But six feels just about right for them. And with that 12 points coming off, I jump out, extend the lead to a 6-point lead. I'm also feeling really good right now about my power rankings because my number 1, my number 3, my number 4, my number 5, my number 7 teams are the ones that I have left, folks. In second place, Josh is 6 points behind. He had Melinda and Erika 10th, so not too far off. And Nicole is in a distant third place, 19 points out of first. You had Melinda and Erika 7th. You still have your number 14 and Han and Holden in there, and number 12, Carson and Jack.
It's rough.
I think that says it all. Let's cross the finish line.
I'll kick it off. I'm excited to go to Naples, Italy next week. We've been there, Tom and I. Home of pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love?
Shout out pizza.
I'm anticipating some bullet train action, a lot of good looking food, and I think it's gonna be a good leg.
I would flag the time and culture that we're at, that we waited until halfway through the season to bring up that Carson and Jack are gay. I thought it was a fascinating thing to kind of just reveal kind of casually and not really make a point out of it at all throughout the entire season. And not even really, I mean, they definitely mentioned it, but not even really making a deep point about it, even this episode. But just want to clock it culturally.
I want to know, is there history? I need the dirt, okay? I need the dirt.
This is you watching Love is Blind.
Yes.
That's all that is. It's you watching Bachelors and Bachelorettes in Paradise and Love is Blind and Love on the Spectrum. Folks, this is Nicole's wheelhouse.
Shout out Love on the Spectrum, an amazing show. Everyone should watch it. It's so good.
But I think that's part of culturally the point, right? Is that the fact, or my point is the fact that they didn't really make a thing out of it. They didn't bring up a history. They just kind of said it. And that's very different than all of these other shows.
They waited till they were surrounded by a circle of wet Orthodox men.
Fully clothed.
Fully clothed.
Playing Bulgarian bagpipes in Lake Ariana.
Yeah.
Retrieving gold crosses. And while some Amazing Race contestants go in fully clothed and fully shoed. Anyway, I'll cross the finish line. As much as we love to watch teams screw up, blunder, mess up, not read the clue, search for hours, slingshot watermelons that come back and hit them in the face. Right? We love those William Hung on American Idol. Shout out William Hung.
Shout out.
She bang, she bang. Remember that guy? As much as we love that, I'd rather watch Kelly Clarkson sing. I'd rather watch the guy hit a home run than strike out. I'd rather watch Mark get to the roadblock and be the one crushing the roadblock because it's a dance routine in a costume. It's what this guy does for a living in Las Vegas. He's a professional at this. And then watching him watch the routine, the way he interacted with the expert that taught him, questions he asked, the enthusiasm. I love to watch people who are great at something be great at something. That'll do it for this episode of the ReRACEables Podcast. I want to thank Josh. I want to thank Nicole for being here. Another great episode, another great city. I think we're putting together a pretty amazing season here, folks.
Very much.
From top to bottomest.
New era.
The new era of the Amazing Race, the new era of the ReRACEables Podcast. Be sure to go to our YouTube channel at Tribal Council Blog. Check out previous episodes. If you're watching Survivor, go to tribalcouncilblog.com to check out my blog on season 48, which is amazing also. Really heating up, really getting to a good place. So check out my blog there. Follow me on Instagram as well, at Tribal Council Blog. Up to day 190 of Making Fire until I get cast on the show. Check that out. Like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm excited. I know you guys are as well. We'll be back next week to discuss season 37, episode 9. We're at the final 5, and it's going to be a doozy. And we'll be back next week right here on the ReRACEables Podcast to cover it all. Until next time.